Yes, my name is Frank Martins. I migrated from Brazil. I came here to Australia in 1982. And the memento I brought in is my dad's birth certificate from Spain.
My name is Adele, and I'm originally born in old Yugoslavia. My memento is my passport.
Hi, my name is Maggie, and I came from Taiwan over 20 years ago. Today I'm going to talk about the mementos that I have. One is a stamp collection book, and the second one is a necklace, and the last one is a note from my mom.
My name is Fabian Fuste Torres. I come from Havana, Cuba, and I arrived to Australia in 2008. And I brought with me a little statue of the Virgen de la Caridad del Cobre, Virgin of the Charity.
My name is Claudia Gamboa. I was born in Chile. I came to Australia in 1983 with my family, and my memento is my children's guitar.
My name is Mayumi Mamura. I'm from Ina, Nagano, Japan. My memento is kimono.
My name is Lorna Atime. I was born in the Seychelles island of the east coast of Africa, and I speak Creole, which is my local language. I came to Australia and I brought with me this memento, which is a sea coconut or coco de mer.
My name is Lucila Flores. I am Chilean. I was born in Valparaiso, and my memento is a watch that my auntie gave to me.
Kalimera, good day. My name's Constantine Nicholas Papadakis, now called Vinda Saraswati. I have 4 mementos in this exhibition. A tapestry by my mother, a black and white photo of my mother, myself and the hens, a Greek passport that we travelled out on, and a photo of my parents and me in front of the Acropolis, in front of the Parthenon on the Acropolis in Athens.
My memento is my dad's birth certificate. It is the most important memento I have because it's the document he prepared when he was living with his family and made a decision to migrate to leave Spain and go to Brazil. My dad was 20 years old, living in South Spain, when the Civil War broke out. At that time he was doing military service with all his mates and all that, and they all then joined in to fight against what was the trial to impose dictatorship, which was by Franco. That went on for 3 years. He got imprisoned, there was risk of death and all that. So once that finished, the persecution started of the people who participated on the fight against Franco, who now had established himself as a dictator. The impending risk of being killed basically was still very strong. And friends and family that had connection with the military had warned the family, well, if he wanted to stay alive, he better get out of here. It's only a matter of time. At that stage is when he arranged to have a birth certificate fixed up so he could get a passport, and he got a ship to Brazil. He had no family there, he went alone, he left all the family back in Spain. Once arriving there, he found that, well, he used to be just like he was a countryman, he just worked on the field, had no schooling whatsoever. He arrived to São Paulo in Brazil, and he managed to find a job in construction, in building. And that was the only job he had for the rest of his life. And at that stage he was around 35 years old, and he went to a birthday party and met my mom. Very quick they got married, and I was the firstborn, and I have one brother. So as a kid I was always intrigued with the thing that my dad came from a different country. I couldn't understand exactly what those things meant, what was overseas or what. So I ended up then coming to Australia in 1982. And I was lucky to go back a number of times, 10 times, I think, back to Brazil to see them when they were alive. They passed away now. I consider myself a second-generation migrant because I lived all my life in Brazil in a migrant family. And having come to Australia, of course, you are a migrant. So it's a second experience of the same type, I say.
My passport was really important to me because that's the only thing I have from home. My name is Adele, and I'm originally born in old Yugoslavia. And after the war, I was because my parents were German in Yugoslavia, they called them Volksdeutsche. And after, when the communists came in, they put us in concentration camp, and I was there about 4 years. My parents died. And after that, I was living still in Belgrade. Then because I was German, I could migrate to Germany, right? So I migrated to Germany. After that, I met my husband. He came from Belgrade too, and so on. And he wants to migrate to Australia, so we got engaged, and I followed him. I came with a boat, it's called Scowbrin, and on the way on the Indian Ocean, it sank. So a tanker picked us up in the middle of the ocean, but everyone was saved. Only one man died of a heart attack. And we were on that boat about 2 days, and then another boat came. The Roma came, and they picked us all up and brought us back to Eden. And we were there. They just finished a hospital there at the sea, and nobody was in it, so they put us in. And I was there about 15 days, and every time a boat passed, they took so and so many passengers, and I was on the last boat. That was the Dutch boat, and it was called Johan van Oldenbarnerhof, a long name. So we went on that boat, and with that boat we came right here to Melbourne. And from Melbourne we got a train and we come to Sydney, so that's when I arrived here. The passport is very important to me because that's the only thing I have from home, because everything I lost on the boat, everything sank. And for me it's a big treasure, and I wouldn't part of it.
My memento is a stamp collection book. The reason that I treasure it because when I was little and I first started school, instead of rewarding for the good work, my father always bought us first day issue stamps to reward us for the good work that we did at school. We will go through how to put the stamps in the stamp books with the wax paper and also the tweezer. And the reason I treasure it because it actually reminds me the fun time and the precious time that we had together, that I learned the art of stamp collection from my dad. Another 2 mementos, one is a necklace. When I was really ill a few years ago, my father actually gave me that glow-in-the-dark gemstone. He came to look after me during that period, and he gave it to me because he always wear it himself. So he gave it to me and to say that they will keep me safe and to ward off the evil. Yeah. And I really, really appreciate that gesture. The note is from my mom. That was probably 15 years ago now when I was going through separation, and I was really confused and lost, didn't know what to do. And to encourage me, my mom actually wrote me a note to, just to pick me back up. And so that's very, very significant to me as well. And in the notes, the message is very simple, but also very, to me, was very powerful at that time. So I'll just have a quick translation here. It actually says, "Dear daughter, don't make excuses for failures. Find ways to succeed. Giving up hope would be the biggest failure in life. Past failure can be a source of wisdom. Confidence is the #1 secret of success. Also, love yourself, then you can have a beautiful and meaningful life. Instead of waiting for opportunities, you should hold on to opportunities. Instead of holding on to opportunities, you should create opportunities. Love you the most, Mom." And I have treasured it since then, and I look at it every day and thinking of my mom.
My name is Fabian Fuste Torres. I come from Havana, Cuba, and I arrived to Australia in 2008. And I brought with me a little statue of the Virgen de la Caridad del Cobre, Virgin of the Charity, that is very important for me and for all the Cubans, because it is the patroness of our home, and we pray for the Virgin every night. Yeah, every night before to go there, we pray, because it's like our heritage and our spirituality. In 2006, I met my wife in Havana, Cuba. She was visiting with some friends of mine that already lived in Australia before. And we have a really good time. And then I decided, she invited me to Australia to meet his family and all his relatives. And then we decided to get married here in Australia. Well, this status is important to me when I brought to Australia, because it's spiritually, it's like my protection. You know, my protection in life, and anytime that you're going to start something new, you need energy. You know, we always pray to the Virgin. You know, Cuba has a big history, but maybe in the last 54 years is what the people talking about Cuba, because the revolution and blah blah blah, and it's not really the way that it is, because even when the Castros, they arrived to when they may start the revolution, they forgot about the Virgin, about the religion, and then it was really, you know, separate the process. And now, since maybe the last 10 years is when the spiritual of the Cuban is pushing with year and pushing, and everyone is like a start again, you know, because that the Virgin is what made the Cuban get together. Yeah.
My name is Claudia Gamboa. I was born in Chile. I came to Australia in 1983 with my family, and my memento is my children's guitar. My little guitar, as you can see, it's not very big. It's supposed to be a child's guitar. I've had it now for about 40 years. So it does look a little bit damaged, but it's all good. I've kept it, and I try to keep, look after it. But unfortunately, as you can see, it doesn't play anymore. This guitar actually means a lot to me, because my parents separated when I was probably around that time, just after 6. And Dad moved away to Venezuela. Didn't get to see him for about 10 years. So for me, having the guitar meant having a little bit of my dad there with me. Dad eventually moved to Albuquerque, which I've managed to go and see him a couple of times. And he actually finds it a bit funny that I've kept the guitar. But for me, as I said, it's something that, it's a little bit of having him with me, since especially being in Australia, so far away from where he lives. And it's the only thing that links me to him at the moment. The guitar obviously means a lot to me, and I've kept it here in Australia. I came to Australia in 1983. It's something that I keep, and even though I do have contact with Dad through Skype, it's not the same thing as having something to remember him, and the guitar does it for me. And having a memento, sometimes it can have sad feelings, sometimes it brings out happy feelings, but if it's something that you hold and it brings all these feelings that you had buried inside you for a long time, I think it's worth keeping. Yeah, it's worth keeping. That's why I've kept my little guitar. It just means a lot to me.
My memento is Japanese kimono. It's important for me because this is Japanese national costume, and also my mother used to sew kimono. She was a tailor, and she used to sew kimono every day when I was little. I found kimono making is very interesting. Not the actual kimono, but because my mother, she used to sew kimono at home, and I used to watch her using a few tools to make kimono. So when she marked the line, she has to sew on one straight line. So she used to use this tool, small sort of knife-like shape, made out of deer antlet. So she used to press it down to mark it. So when she finished, she started sewing it. Or she used to have fabric tensioner, which was made out of wood. I used to watch her using those utensils or tools. That just made me fascinated. Okay. Yes. I'm just talking about this sash. It's called obi. Obi is a kimono's accessory. It's like a belt. And this was my mother's sash, and she gave it to me, and so I'm wearing it, and I like the color. And this is a summer kimono sash, so it's much cooler than wool or anything else. It goes with the summer kimono like this yukata, and this yukata was actually my uniform when I was working in a hair salon in Japan. Kimono is, I think it's important. I wasn't a very traditional girl when I was in Japan. I didn't see the importance of kimono so much, but because I'm away from Japan, and also my husband Avinda asks me to wear kimono more often, and wearing kimono like this is actually feeling good, and I think it's nice to wear it. So I decided to wear, and also I would like to wear kimono more often.
My name is Lorna Atime. I was born in the Seychelles island of the east coast of Africa, and I speak Creole, which is my local language. I came to Australia and I brought with me this memento, which is a sea coconut or coco de mer, and it's shaped like a female buttock. That's why it's called coco de fesse. That's another name that the French gives it. When it's young, the coconut is very soft inside. It's like jelly, and it's edible. It also tastes like coconut. And when it's mature, it's very the net is very hard inside, it's very heavy, and it can weigh up to 30 kilos. And the coconut, when it's hard, the locals, they remove the net inside, and then they crafted it and make into local souvenirs, which they sell to the tourists. And yeah, it's the biggest seed in the whole wide world. It reminds me of my country when I look at this seed, and it brings back a lot of memories of when I was growing up back home too. I used to visit the place and the sea coconut, and I used to take the tourists there on excursions in the Valley de Mai. I have been back visiting my country several times, and well, it's important to me because I brought it with me as a souvenir because it can only be found in the Seychelles, and it reminds me of my country when I look at it, and yeah, and it sort of brings back memories, and that's why I really like to keep it as a memento, souvenir from my country. I came to Australia 30 years ago, and I love Australia. It's my home now, and I call Australia home, the country that I love so much.
The gold watch represents a lot to me because my auntie gave to me as a gift when I was 15 years old, and represent the love that every one of us need, especially when we are a child. Was the second one in my family that was able to go to the uni to get a degree, no? And my auntie gave me that when I was 15. I was very attached to her, and always she gave me the best that she could, being there all the time. When I was sick, she took me to the first movies, not? And I used to stay with her in the same bed until the day she died. She dressed me when I was sick, and she washed me up and give me the breakfast and take me to school and give excuse when I was late, all the time protecting me and spoiling me. And one day she gave me the breakfast in the bed, and she put the tray, and I don't know, I was naughty, and I said I will throw away, like a menace, and I did. Accidentally, I don't know, but happened, and I threw the milk tea in the quilt, and I feel bad because, especially when we know why we do something wrong, and the person doesn't reprimand us, cause a more deep impact in us. The watch is very precious to me. Still I keep it, and I use in a special occasion, and will be with me until die.
Kalimera, good day. My name's Constantine Nicholas Papadakis, now called Vinda Saraswati. I have 4 mementos in this exhibition: a tapestry by my mother, a black and white photo of my mother, myself and hens, a Greek passport that we travelled out on, and a photo of my parents and me in front of the Acropolis, in front of the Parthenon on the Acropolis in Athens. A deer tapestry. It was made by my mother on a floor loom in Greece, and it was part of her dowry for when she would get married. Now the tapestry is it's very colourful, and it's very important to me. I don't remember it when we were in Greece. It came over with us, and apparently we only came over with several suitcases. Now the tapestry has travelled with me times in my life, like when I was squatting on the Glebe estate. It provided me with a lot of comfort, the colours and just the deers. It's also a connection with my mother, who I had troubled times with both my parents because I came from the Greek culture and they were very Greek. So coming over here and being exposed to a different culture, it was very difficult. After a time when I started to grow up, I rebelled and questioned a lot of things, and I was caught between two cultures, as a lot of young children like me are, and I think still are. I went through a period of actually rejecting the Greek culture, and I think there was hatred there, and I had a difficult time, especially with my father, and that I found out as I grew up. It's pretty normal, you know. I felt closer to my mother because she was I don't think she ever got angry, and when she did get angry, it was like pretend. She never really got angry. So it was a connection with her, and I have it here now. It'd be over 80 years old. And the other thing I have is a photograph. It's in our backyard in Amayas, and my mum's on the left side, and she's feeding chickens, looking down, and I'm on the right, as you look at the photo, and I'm probably around 5, I'd say, and I've got my eyes like that because it's very bright, and that's a very lovely photo, and there's chickens or hens in there. And I have done a drawing of that, fairly accurate. Usually I paint not sort of like, you know, pictorial. It's not as you see things. This is the original passport that my mother, father, my brother and myself came from Greece to Australia. So this is important because it's got my father when he was quite young, and so it's quite important to me, and it's in reasonably good condition. It says here, the Kingdom of Greece, Vasileon tis Elados. And this one here, this is a photo of my father, my mother and me with the Parthenon, the Acropolis in Athens. This is just before we left. We had moved from Amaliada with our few belongings, stayed in Athens for a few days, got all the paperwork done, and then got on the Skavrin. The tapestry and the passport and the photos, they're a connection. You know, they're a connection with a time past. I've got photos that are more recent, but they're of a time past. And like I said in that piece I wrote, is that the one especially with the hens, mum and myself, I look at that and I sort of, I wish to go back and live that life. And I wonder how we would have lived, what we would have done, how we would have turned out if we hadn't taken up that offer to come to Australia